Hey, Pastor Josh here. We're reading Acts chapter 16, verses 34 through 40. And Jesus did tell us that if someone smacks us on the cheek, we should turn the other to them also. He did tell us to do that, yes. But he also said this to us. He said that you need to be as gentle as doves, but wise as serpents. And so, yes, we are to be very loving. We are to be even very passive in the way that we treat our enemies. But he does tell us that we need to be wise. And we see this wise response, we see this wise attitude in the heart of the Apostle Paul. And he demonstrates it very well. He demonstrates it in ways that Jesus does it. Remember when Jesus was interacting with his political opponents and those that were opposed to Jesus Christ, he had a way with words with them, and he was able to engage with them in a very crafty way, in a very wise way. And so let us look at what the Apostle Paul does. What many of you may not know at this time is that the Apostle Paul is a Roman citizen, which is not normal for a Jew to have that. And so Paul is a Roman citizen. And with being a Roman citizen, there are certain privileges that come along with that. And he is going to intentionally use those privileges for the sake of the gospel. So let us read what happens. But when it was day, remember, he is in jail. He's in the Philippian jail. Big old earthquake happened. The jailer let him out, apparently, but still under custody, but perhaps at his own house. Who knows exactly where they're at? But they are obviously still under arrest. They are still in custody, if you will. But when it was day, the magistrates, the leaders of the city, sent to the police, saying, "Let those men go." Looks like I changed that. "Let those men go. Let them go." And the jailer reported these words to Paul, saying, "The magistrates have sent to let you go." And you would think Paul would be like, "Yay, well, thank you. Thank you very much. We're going to get out of here." But Paul doesn't do that. And then the jailer says, "Therefore, come out now and go in peace. All is well. You can leave." But Paul doesn't do that. It becomes wise as a serpent. He uses this as an opportunity. But Paul said to them, "They have beaten us publicly, uncondemned men who are Roman citizens, and have thrown us into prison. And do they now throw us out secretly? No, let them come themselves and take us out. If they publicly humiliated us and beat us, then we're not just going to secretly go out." Now, the reason Paul is going to want to make this a big publicity situation, he wants everybody to see them, because there is going to be a church in Philippi. There is a church that is being birthed with Paul being here, with Lydia, and then now with the jailer, and there's going to be others that have come to know Jesus Christ as their Savior. And so Paul doesn't want to leave these folks here in the city with the leaders thinking badly of them or thinking of the community. So he's saying, if you're going to let us out, then you're going to do this publicly. And if you're going to apologize to us because we're Roman citizens and what you did you should not have done, then you're going to need to do that publicly too, so that the whole city will know that these folks are okay and they don't need to have the hatred of the city on them. Verse 38, the police reported these words to the magistrates, and they were afraid when they heard that they were Roman citizens, because they were not to do that. There was no official proceeding. There was no official trial that would get them into a spot where they could be beaten and imprisoned in the way that they were. And so they were afraid. So they came and apologized to them. Again, this is a public apology. And so this then would cause the leaders of the city and all the people in the city to realize, okay, what the magistrates did to these Christians was wrong, and they might not be so bad after all. And they took them out and asked them to leave the city. So at the same time, while they did apologize to them, they did ask them to leave. And they went out of the prison, but before they went, they visited Lydia. They went and visited her, and I believe, along with others, that the church in Philippi was meeting in Lydia's house. And when they had seen the brothers, they encouraged them and departed. Notice they had seen the brothers. Now, I don't know if I really should make a big deal about this, but remember we talked about the Macedonian man, right? That he received the vision when he was trying to figure out where he should go. And finally, he has come to Philippi, a city in Macedonia, and there's only ladies that seem to be getting saved. And then so here now it seems, okay, it's not just ladies. There are now brothers that have come to know Jesus Christ. But I say all that to say, though, the Greek word underneath brothers is a word that would mean brothers and sisters. It's that generic word for man. So, for instance, if I say mankind, I'm also including women in that. It is men and women. And so in the same way, when he says have seen the brothers, brothers would be the technical way to translate the word. But the word brothers, the Greek word, also includes women as well. So you could very well translate it when they had seen the brothers and the sisters. So perhaps there were more men besides this Philippian jailer that has gotten saved. So after Lydia got saved, then they shared it, perhaps with their husbands, perhaps with other men, perhaps with their own siblings, and they got saved. Or perhaps this is only saying sisters. But seems like the church is obviously growing at this point, and now they leave. And the Apostle Paul will write to this church in Philippi the letter called the letter to the Philippians. So it'd be good to perhaps read that. This would not be the time that he wrote the letter, but this letter would be written to this church. Pray that's been a blessing to you. I'll see you in the next video.